Good evening everyone. Hello. So myself Neeraj from Space Arcade, and we are here to show you what a refractor telescope can show you. So right now the piece of equipment that we have here is the Meade 70AZ, the Meade Infinity 70AZ. So let me tell you the specification about this telescope. So this telescope has an aperture of, it's a refractor telescope, it's has an aperture of 70 mm and has a focal length of 700 mm. So it's a f10 telescope. So it's a decent, good quality out of all the Meade instruments and this price range. Okay, so it's a very neat telescope. You can see over here it's pretty sturdy, and we get all the motions very proper. So this is known as the azimuth motion or the sideways motion. So this happens due to this knob over here. This is the azimuth knob over here. Now this azimuth knob, if it's open, loosen, this would give you the left and right motion, and if you lock this, so we don't get any left and right motion. Similarly, this is the altitude knob. If I open this, I get the up and down motion. So you can see how sturdy it is. It stays wherever it needs to be. Okay, so this is the altitude rod or the slow motion altitude knob, and this is the altitude knob to control the movement. So over here we have the finder scope. This is a red dot finder scope which helps us to get the initial alignment of any objects. So this over here is the focuser. You can see the tube goes in and out to attain the perfect and sharp focus as we need it. Okay, so this will give you a very pretty clear image. We'll see it one by one what image I'm talking about. I'll just show you the mirror also, the lens also. You can see over here, this is a 70 mm aperture lens over here that collects the light and brings at the focal point at the back side. So we have a 90-degree diagonal over here, so that gives us an image upwards, so we don't have to bend down. And we also have eyepieces along with it. So there are two eyepieces that comes along with it. The first eyepiece, a wide angle eyepiece we get, this is a 26 mm eyepiece. Okay, it's a Meade 26 mm eyepiece. And this is another eyepiece, is a very good wide angle eyepiece in 4 mm focal length. Okay, so we're going to use both the eyepieces today, and along with that they give you a additional Barlow of 2x, so you can attain a twice magnification with anything. Whichever object you point, you can attain twice the magnification along with this. So this 3 accessories comes along with this in focal length 26 and 4 mm eyepieces and a 2x Barlow lens. This is the eyepiece tray over here. This is a separate piece of equipment that we're going to use today. It can be purchased separately. It is available easily in the market. It's a universal smartphone adapter that you can connect to your eyepiece and take afocal photography of things you see it in through your smartphone and whatever you see in the eyepiece. I'll show you later regarding this. First, let's see how do we point any object using this. So over here, first things first, when I have assembled the whole telescope, this is the tripod, this is the optical tube, the knobs, everything is ready. Now let's start to point. First thing, we need to align this finder scope over here. The red dot finder scope has to be aligned with the tube, so that whatever we see in the center of the finder scope, we see in the center of the eyepiece. Now we have to make sure if this is aligned or not. So for that, we first need to point towards any object with our basic skill set by looking from the back side, or you can roughly see through this also. So let's see, I have a, if you can see over there, there is a mobile tower over there. So my target is to point my telescopes towards that mobile tower, the tip of the mobile tower. Okay, so that's my target now. So I'm going to point towards that. So first, what I do with this, and I need to make sure that my red dot finder scope is aligned to the main tube. So this can be attained first by looking at the finder scope. We need to roughly align the finder scope towards our object. So I'll just see through it and make sure that the altitude knob and the azimuth knob both are loosened, so I can move my telescope up and left and right. So I point roughly towards that. I've loosened both the knobs and I try to point. Now if you see very closely, you'll find a red dot on your finder scope, a red color light glowing on your finder scope. Now if your finder scope is pointed correctly, so once you point, make sure that you lock the altitude. So you can see over here, I am locking the altitude. Why I am doing that? Because it will fall down if you don't lock it. So I've approximately pointed now. Now to make sure that we can see the same thing, we need to always start using the most wide field eyepiece or the biggest focal length, so that we get a very low magnification and they cover the whole area. This kind of finder eyepiece for you. So I put it over here. This is a 26 mm eyepiece, the first one. So I put the 26 mm eyepiece over here and I lock it. Now I roughly align towards, hoping that my optical tube and the finder scope both are aligned. Let's see if I'm getting my tower. Yes, I can see my tower over there, but the tower over there is not at the tip. I don't see the tip. So basically it's almost in that area correctly. So what I do now is I move my tube slightly up and down so that I get the tip of the tower in the eyepiece. So now I get the tip of the tower and I get a focused image. So I move my focuses over here. These are two focuses, anyone you can move. So I move it slightly anti-clockwise, so my image is getting focused and now starts getting blurred. So I go back towards front. So the sweet spot you find to get a focused image. So I have got my focused image and this is now at my center. I make sure that everything is locked up now. This is locked, and even my azimuth knob is also locked so that it doesn't go here and there by any nudge. So I can see my tip of the tower over here, and I come back to my finder scope and see if it's pointing again the tip. So I can see it is not pointing exactly at the tip, slightly off it is. So what I do is, there are two kinds of screws given over here to move the finder scope left and right and up and down. Okay, so I try to use both and try to bring the finder scope also to the tip of the tower. So now my finder scope is at the tip of the tower. So now both the finder scope and my telescope both are showing me the same image. So I'll make sure again, I come back here, I see over here, and I realign my finder scope again. I make sure everything is tight. Okay, so now it's correct. I come back here and I check whether this is aligned to the tip or not. Yeah, so now I can see it's aligned to the tip of the tower. So this is how we do the finder scope alignment. Now it's very easy job. I want to point towards any other object. Suppose I want to point towards the other mobile tower over here. So what I do, I quickly move in the azimuth. Let's see that mobile tower. Now my job is very easy now, since my finder scope alignment is done. So what happens is, immediately I see the red dot in the red dot finder scope. I see the center of the red dot in the tip of the tower. I would definitely get the tip of the tower also in my eyepiece. Okay, so this is my finder scope. Now I have loosened this knob again, the azimuth knob, and I come back to this and try to move this red dot at the tip of the tower. So now the red dot is at the tip of the tower. So I come back here. Yes, so I can see the mobile tower in my eyepiece, and so my life has become very easy now. So I don't have to again and again point towards a random object. So I have moon up there in the sky. So our next target will be the moon. So use the same tricks and point towards the moon. Okay, so let's go up. So my altitude knob is opened. I can see the moon up there. So first of all, I randomly point towards that. Now I come back to my finder scope. So the red dot now has to be aligned to the moon, and I see it's aligned. Now I come back and see, yes, the moon is there. So I can see the moon now, and I use the focusing knob to get a focused image of the moon. Beautiful craters of the moon. Can be seen. So I'll point towards the moon now, again using my finder scope. Okay, so I'll show you the moon now. Let me first lock so it doesn't move anywhere. So you all can see now the moon is out there. So that's the moon. So this is now pointing towards the moon in the sky. You can see that's the moon. You can see how far point there is the moon. So all the red dot finder scope, this is also pointing towards, you can see the red dot is pointing towards the moon, and the same thing. So there's the moon. Let me focus it. See, I can see a focused and cratered moon. It's bright because it's in twilight time. The sun is on the horizon, but still we can see a beautiful crescent moon in the sky. So yes guys, so this was what I was trying to show you. Soon we would also have Venus up in the sky. It's not advised to see the sun. I can see the sun setting in the western side, beautiful orange color sun, but do not point this piece of equipment towards the sun until and unless you have proper solar filters. One more thing I want to show you is, I want to show you the other eyepiece. When I point with this, what do I get? Okay, so if I want to point towards, let's say, the moon again, so I'll point towards the moon again. I come to my red dot. Yes, quick. Yes, moon is clear and sharp. I remove this eyepiece, put it back here. This is a 4mm eyepiece, that means it will give me more magnification. So it's inverse, lesser the eyepiece focal length, more the magnification, right? So this will give you a magnification of approximately 30 times, 20 to 30 times, and this would give you a magnification of approximately, let's say, around 150 to 180 times, a 4mm eyepiece. So now I bring it over here, I put this eyepiece here. Now I would like to check the image. So remember, the field of view is very small when you see through this eyepiece, and it would require a refocusing also. I can see the craters more closely. Yes, it's beautiful. Yeah, so bring the camera here. See over here, this is a 4mm eyepiece. You can see. So now I come back here, and I would like you to see the surface of the moon. I hope you all can see. See over here, beautiful craters you can see with a 4mm eyepiece. See guys, you can see the craters beautifully. So this is what a 4mm eyepiece does. So this is the combined set, 25mm eyepiece with a 2x Barlow. I put the whole setup here. So I put the whole setup here. Now I come back here and try to point towards my target. Come back here and check whether it's pointed or not. So it's slightly off. Now it's pointed. Now I come and see, yes, I've got the moon, and let me focus it with using the focusing knobs. 26mm eyepiece along with a 2x magnification. So see over here, you can see here the craters are more clearly visible. This is a 26mm eyepiece with a 26mm with a 2x Barlow. Effective focal length now would be becoming 13mm. Magnification increases twice. So this would be approximately around 60x magnification. Now the use of this particular tool. Now this is used for connecting your smartphone with the eyepiece. Okay, so guys, now I have pointed my eyepiece. I removed the Barlow, and I just used the 26mm eyepiece, and I have connected my phone to the telescope that is actually pointing towards the moon. So you can see on my phone screen, moon is being pointed here. You can see here, this is a focused image. I'll reduce the exposure. So see here, beautiful moon is being captured with my phone and my telescope. So I'm just centering it so I get a better clear view. Centering my object. I'll zoom it. And I can start recording my video also. So now phone is recording, and if the moon is going out of the eyepiece, you can actually bring it back slightly by moving the scope. So now you can see here the whole moon is clearly visible on my phone. So I can zoom a bit to show you the demonstrators. So this was the use of various equipments with this telescope, and that was Meade 70 AZ. So that was all from my side, guys. This was about reviewing the Meade 70 Infinity 70 AZ. So thank you everyone. Keep joining us for more such videos. Thank you.